Here on this windy hilltop at Morehead State University, you might not expect the satellite dish behind me to be helping humans return to space. But a crew of just over a dozen at the Space Science Center here on campus are helping make that possible. But this weekend, an iconic cruiser from a popular 1980s TV show made a flying appearance over these blue waters. This packed parking lot matches the energy inside that white tent. It's day one of a new routine for thousands of Kentuckians turning to medical cannabis. I'm here at the Louisville airport after yesterday's tragedy involving UPS cargo flight 2976. Right now we're seeing light snow, fluffy snowflakes hit in ice in snow-covered triple-lane road, and where we're seeing just a few cars, a century's worth of legacy, and some of the greatest racehorses who started and finished their journey is just beyond this road here at Claiborne Farm. Arvin shares that this is the first time in Keeneland's almost 90-year history that it's had to reschedule races in advance due to severe weather. A box full of thoughtful donations, including healthy items for people with dietary restrictions. It would take them nearly 15 minutes to get to Citation Boulevard during busy hours. But now, with planning and state-backed funding, this area and major roads like it are undergoing serious improvements. From cases of water to meals on the go, the Kentucky National Guard is in Frankfort to help with relief efforts after this week's massive flooding in the city. Now we want to send it out to Kayla Moody and Mario Anderson live on the backside of Churchill Downs, where today is 5-0 Tuesday. It's also a community favorite event highlighting Louisville. King Charles and Queen Camilla are still heading to the nation's capital today, despite Saturday night's shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Two of Northern Kentucky's loudest and proudest advocates for dwarfism, the genetic medical condition for those short or small in stature. Tapping into Derby history, literally. Before the first Derby in 1875, officials scrambled to get water to the track. Spectrum News 1's Kiyati Patel takes us back in time to see how the Louisville Water Company made history. Morning around 11:36 a.m. when a trooper was shot during a traffic stop on Terminal Drive. Hair bows, Bibles, hats, and shoes still sit inside Richmond Road Baptist Church, untouched after Sunday's first service.
That's actually one of the victim's boot in the floor there. But she said, this is where our mother sat.
That's the special seat Rachel Barnes, Angel Rutherford, and Star Jones' mother, Beverly Gum, sat every Sunday. Police say Gum, a mother of 8 and wife to Pastor Jerry Gum, was shot and killed on July 13th in between church services by Guy House. House was later shot and killed by police.
My mom was the church. I mean, she was the pastor's wife. She, did programs to try to, get more visitors in and get people in, and she was, always worried about people's salvation and their soul, where they was going.
Gum's daughter Star Jones was at the church when the shooting happened. She says she held on to her mother as she dialed 911.
She was like, God, please help me. And she told me she loved me. That was it. But Christine, I don't know. She was out here.
He has this gun and he's like, where's Angel? Mom's like, Guy, Angel's not here. And he was like, well, somebody has to die today. That was his exact words. And so he shot the first one, my mother ducked, the second one hit her in the chest.
Barnes and Jones' sister, Christina Combs, was also shot and killed on Sunday.
Going to be a nurse. She was going to graduate in December. I mean, she was smart as a tack. First thing, if you need any kind of medical knowledge, she had it.
She would have graduated this May, but she actually took in a little girl.
Beverly Gum's husband, Jerry Gum, and Christina Combs' husband, Randy Combs, were the other two victims shot. Barnes says House arrived asking for their sister, Angel, and who is his children's mother. Rutherford shared she last spoke with him 4 weeks prior, where they met at the church for their daughter.
It didn't go well, so I just kind of said, we're not going to do this again, because I felt like that his behaviors were getting a little rocky. And knowing him for such a long time, because I've known him for 22 years, I know how his moods and how his mental health was.
Barnes shares that right now they're overwhelmed.
I mean, hold your loved ones close, because you don't know if that's the last time.
By the amount of loss themselves, their kids, and the community are dealing with. Reporting in Lexington, Sabriel, Metcalf, Spectrum News. It was supposed to be just another fun night out for dozens who gathered here at El Cid Thursday night, but after midnight and after shots rang out, it quickly turned violent. Around 12:19, first responders and police responded to calls about multiple shooting victims at the bar and restaurant. Elisa Hairston is a family member of one of the victims and says the incident is traumatic for those impacted and familiar for herself. In 2021, at 17 years old, her son Berkeley was the victim of a shooting, also in the East End.
So my son was shot on Pemberton out East End at 9:13, and that's a busy time. There was a lot of people that was out. There was a lot of people that knew what had taken place.
She describes Berkeley, her only child, as a wise young man with dreams and a heart for kids.
Never been in trouble then in his life. He was a loved kid and he was an old soul. He had a giving heart.
It's why herself, other parents, and groups like Sisters and Supporters Working Against Gun Violence, or SWAG, want to highlight more prevention measures in their communities.
My son's wife was taken by his half-brother in Woodhill to gun violence. I started doing the work months later after that. The fortunate part about it is, unfortunate part about it is that all of the members in the organization have lost someone immediate family member to gun violence, so we just pour into each other.
East End needs to come together. We're losing a lot of our kids in the East End area, and a lot of these families know that these kids are problems, and the parents know too, and I think they need to be held accountable for what these children are doing.
While she is preparing to celebrate Berkeley, who would have been 21 next month, she says she hopes city leaders are extending resources to those impacted last night, as she plans to do the same.
Because at the end of the day, they're going to need it. They didn't reach out to me when they murdered my child, so I hope they reach out to these victims and give them resources, because they are really going to be affected by this.
Show horses like American Saddlebred, Baron Nico, to nearly 100 acres of farmland. Co-owner Caitlin Cooper says for 11 years, they've invited visitors and professionals to Desmar Stables, Mercer County.
I have probably well over 200 animals on this farm, over 100 horses, and I can tell you every single one of them's names standing right here in front of you.
Cooper says nearly every day she gets to enjoy the quietness and ambiance of the land. But now she fears that could be disturbed by a 555-acre data center development posted on LinkedIn 6 months ago, a listing across the road from her farm.
When it is wild and crazy out here, my horses are the first to know it. On 4th of July, it's a living hell for me because it is so noisy, so loud. I've had mares and babies run through fences, and it's not safe to have a data center right across the street that's going to produce that much noise.
Now a Change.org petition by resident Diane Floyd has gained over 2,000 signatures. We Are Mercer County, a new community engagement group, was created to stop the development on Handy Road.
And I saw the newspaper article in the Harrodsburg Herald. That was basically all you could find about it online was, hey, all of a sudden we're hiring a data center.
Data centers are in their infancy, and I do not feel like we need to be the trial run.
It's why every seat inside their last Joint Planning and Zoning Commission meeting was filled. Residents applauded Attorney Frank Brady's two-word, prime farmland, as he shared how other counties adopted moratoriums. Over 50 people, including Cooper and Floyd, spoke up about data centers, risks to farmland, tax changes, water usage, and health.
And this causes lots of issues, difficulty thinking, difficulty concentration, fragmented sleep.
The biggest impact and the most surprising thing to me was how many people in our community care and how many people showed up.
Cooper says if the development proceeds, they'll consider moving their horses out of the county.
And mainly it's due to the safety of our horses. We're going to do what's best for them.
One of many tough decisions for this community. Reporting in Harrodsburg, Sabriel Metcalf, Spectrum News. Hello, happy Derby 152. Sabriel Metcalf for Spectrum News here outside of the infield gates, where you might see a small crowd of folks lining up. They're getting ready. They have their pastels on. They have their derby hats on. They're ready for today. But one person that we're about to speak to has big plans, and he's actually been here for decades. Evening to those who are tuned in from home. I'm Sabriel Metcalf here at Keeneland, where I ran into people like Lori and Kathy, who have found a special spot to watch the most exciting race. Happy Derby 152. We're here in the infield where the fashion stakes are great, the betting is great, and also finding a perfect spot in this huge field where you can watch Derby 152. But you've been here just as long. What keeps you coming back every year?
It's Kentucky. This is our chance to come to Kentucky and just feel what Kentucky's all about.